The afternoon sun filtered through the large windows of the Hospital Infantil Universitario Niño Jesus in Madrid as Cristiano Ronaldo made his way through the pediatric wing for what had become a monthly tradition of visiting young patients. This particular visit in March 2021 was meant to be a routine morale-boosting session for children undergoing various treatments, but it would become one of the most meaningful encounters of his life. As he walked down the corridor, accompanied by hospital staff and his security team, Ronaldo noticed a small figure sitting alone in the recreation room, completely absorbed in a book, while other children gathered around televisions or played games. The child appeared to be around 10 years old, with dark hair and an intense concentration that seemed unusual for someone so young in such a bustling environment. What struck Ronaldo most was that while other children had noticed his arrival and were excitedly pointing and whispering, this particular child remained focused on reading, seemingly oblivious to the commotion his presence had created. Dr. Martinez, the head of pediatric care who was guiding Ronaldo's visit, noticed his interest in the solitary child and approached him with additional information. "That's Samuel," she explained quietly. "He's been with us for 3 weeks, receiving treatment for a rare autoimmune condition. Samuel was born profoundly deaf, and he communicates primarily through Spanish Sign Language. He's incredibly intelligent and loves to read, but he often feels isolated during group activities because most people here don't know sign language." Ronaldo studied Samuel more closely, observing how the boy's eyes moved across the pages with remarkable speed and comprehension. There was something about Samuel's self-contained dignity and obvious intelligence that reminded Ronaldo of his own childhood feelings of being different or misunderstood, though for completely different reasons. "Does he know who I am?" Ronaldo asked Dr. Martinez. "Would he be interested in meeting me, or would that be overwhelming for him?" Dr. Martinez smiled. "Samuel is a huge football fan, actually. He follows Real Madrid religiously and knows more statistics about the team than most adult supporters. However, he's quite shy with new people, especially those who don't sign. He might be interested but intimidated by the communication barrier." Ronaldo made a decision that would surprise everyone present. "Dr. Martinez, is there someone here who could teach me a few basic signs? I'd like to be able to introduce myself to Samuel properly in his own language." The request caught the medical staff off guard, as most visitors, even well-meaning celebrities, typically expected accommodations to be made for them rather than making the effort to accommodate others. Dr. Martinez quickly located Teresa, a sign language interpreter who worked with deaf patients at the hospital. Teresa was initially skeptical that Ronaldo would have the patience or genuine interest to learn even basic communication, but she was impressed by his immediate focus and determination to master the fundamental signs for greeting, introduction, and simple conversation. For the next 30 minutes, Ronaldo worked intensively with Teresa to learn basic Spanish Sign Language. He practiced the signs for "hello, my name is," "nice to meet you," "football," "friend," and several other essential words and phrases. His natural athleticism and hand-eye coordination served him well in mastering the precise finger and hand movements required for clear communication. More importantly, his genuine desire to connect with Samuel motivated him to perfect each sign until Teresa confirmed he could communicate clearly and respectfully. Teresa was amazed by Ronaldo's dedication and quick learning ability, but more impressed by his obvious sincerity in wanting to communicate with Samuel on the boy's own terms, rather than expecting the child to adapt to his preferences. When Ronaldo finally approached Samuel in the recreation room, he sat down across from the young boy and waited until Samuel looked up from his book. Instead of speaking or waiting for an interpreter, Ronaldo smiled and began signing. "Hello, my name is Cristiano. Nice to meet you." Samuel's eyes widened in complete shock, not just at recognizing one of his football heroes, but at seeing this famous person making the effort to communicate in his own language. Samuel's initial surprise quickly transformed into a brilliant smile as he realized that Ronaldo had taken the time to learn sign language specifically to talk with him. Samuel responded enthusiastically in sign language, introducing himself and expressing his amazement that Ronaldo was actually there and could sign. Although Ronaldo's signing was basic and sometimes required clarification, the effort and respect he showed by communicating in Samuel's preferred language created an immediate bond between them. Their conversation, facilitated occasionally by Teresa when more complex ideas needed translation, revealed Samuel's extraordinary knowledge of football and his particular admiration for Ronaldo's work ethic and achievements. Samuel signed about watching Ronaldo's games with Spanish commentary that he followed by reading lips and watching the visual action, explaining how football had become his way of feeling connected to a world that often seemed designed for hearing people. Ronaldo was struck by Samuel's intelligence, humor, and sophisticated understanding of the game despite his young age and communication challenges. As their conversation continued, Ronaldo learned about Samuel's life beyond the hospital. Samuel lived with his grandmother, who had raised him since his parents died in a car accident when he was 5 years old. His grandmother worked multiple jobs to support them and had learned sign language to communicate with Samuel, but she struggled with the demands of being his sole caregiver while managing their financial situation. Samuel's current hospitalization was particularly stressful because his grandmother couldn't afford to take time off work to stay with him, leaving him to navigate the medical system largely on his own despite his young age. The more Ronaldo learned about Samuel's circumstances, the more impressed he became with the boy's resilience and positive attitude. Samuel never complained about his challenges, but instead focused on his interests and goals, which included dreams of becoming an engineer and possibly working in sports technology to help make football more accessible to deaf fans. His maturity and determination reminded Ronaldo of his own childhood drive to succeed despite obstacles, and he felt a growing connection to this remarkable young person. Over the following weeks, Ronaldo continued studying sign language with private tutors, motivated by his desire to communicate more effectively with Samuel. He visited the hospital regularly, and their friendship deepened as Ronaldo's signing skills improved, and Samuel became more comfortable sharing his thoughts and dreams. These visits became the highlight of Samuel's treatment period, providing him with emotional support during difficult medical procedures and giving him a sense of connection that he had rarely experienced with hearing adults outside his family. Ronaldo also learned about the broader challenges facing deaf children and their families, including limited educational resources, social isolation, and barriers to participation in sports and other activities. Samuel's experiences opened Ronaldo's eyes to a community and set of challenges he had never previously considered, inspiring him to think about how his platform and resources might be used to create positive change for deaf young people. The conversations between Ronaldo and Samuel grew increasingly sophisticated as Ronaldo's sign language skills improved, and they began discussing complex topics, including Samuel's academic interests, his observations about social attitudes toward deaf people, and his ideas for technological innovations that could improve accessibility in sports and entertainment. Samuel's insights were remarkably mature and thoughtful, demonstrating an intellectual depth that impressed everyone who interacted with him. When Samuel's treatment was completed and he was ready to return home, Ronaldo made a decision that would transform both their lives permanently. He arranged to cover all of Samuel's ongoing medical expenses and educational costs, but more importantly, he invited Samuel to become a regular part of his life and work. Ronaldo hired Samuel as a junior consultant for his foundation's accessibility initiatives, giving the boy a meaningful role in developing programs for deaf children interested in sports. Samuel's insights and experiences became invaluable in creating football camps, educational programs, and technology initiatives specifically designed for deaf young people. The collaboration between Ronaldo and Samuel led to the development of innovative programs that combined sports training with sign language education, creating opportunities for deaf children to participate fully in football activities while also teaching hearing children and adults basic sign language skills. Their friendship became a model for inclusive sports programming and demonstrated how meaningful connections could bridge communication barriers and create mutual learning opportunities. As Samuel grew older and his role in Ronaldo's foundation expanded, Their relationship evolved from mentor and student to genuine collaborators working together to create change in their community. Samuel's engineering interests led him to develop technological solutions for making football more accessible to deaf fans, including visual communication systems and vibration-based alerts that could convey game information without relying on sound. Ronaldo supported Samuel's education and innovation projects, but more importantly, he continued learning and improving his sign language skills so their friendship could deepen and grow more sophisticated over time. The impact of their relationship extended far beyond their personal friendship, inspiring other athletes and public figures to learn about and engage with the deaf community. Their story became a powerful example of how genuine effort to understand and accommodate others' communication needs could create meaningful connections and drive positive social change. Samuel's influence on Ronaldo's perspective and priorities demonstrated that sometimes the most important lessons come from the people we initially think we're trying to help, and that true friendship requires mutual respect, effort, and willingness to step outside one's comfort zone to connect with others in their preferred ways of communicating. The programs they developed together eventually became models for inclusive sports initiatives around the world, proving that accessibility and accommodation could enhance rather than limit athletic experiences for everyone involved. Their ongoing friendship and collaboration continued to inspire innovations in sports accessibility and demonstrated the transformative power of genuine human connection across different communities and communication styles.